What's up, everyone? It's Rich from the Guitar Den. In this video, I'm going to take you through the absolute basics of the ukulele. Now, I love it the most because this is the video that determines how you think about learning a musical instrument. How many people have picked up a musical instrument and went, oh, this is hard, and put it down, and 20 years later says, I wish I stuck with it, okay? You're going to I'm going to place concepts into your mind today, and you're going to live with them for the rest of your life, and you're going to say to yourself that years ago that guy told me how to think about playing a musical instrument, and I listened to him and he was right. Here's what you do. You break it down into simple concepts. And in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to make it so simple, it's going to be ridiculous. We're going to go over tuning the ukulele. That's one of the most important things, because if you can't tune the ukulele and it's out of tune, it doesn't sound good, then rightfully so, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to put it down, right? Okay, so the next thing we're going to go over is fingers, frets, and strings. The three concepts that you put together in order to form your first simple chords with your left hand. But what about that other hand right here, the right hand? What we're going to do is we're going to go over simple strumming patterns. Now, let me tell you a very quick story. Years ago, when I was standing on the stage of the back fence in front of 70 people living my dream as a musician, you know what I found myself doing? Not this. Nope, I was playing Don't Worry About a Thing, because every little thing, yeah, is going to be alright. 3-chord Bob Marley songs. And that's what we're going to go over today. So what I want you to do now is watch the videos on tuning ukulele, and then when we come back, we're going to go over fingers, frets, and strings.
I want you to look at these two rows right here. We're going to identify these pegs right here, and we're going to link them up to the strings. Now, again, I'm assuming you've never done this before. So what we have here is a bottom row, and we have a top row of tuning pegs. In the bottom row, we have a tuning peg that's closest to you. Then we have a tuning peg that's a little farther away from you. On the top row, we have a tuning peg that's closest to you, and we have a tuning peg that's farther away from you. Let's link these up, and let's figure out exactly what direction we're going to turn these tuning pegs in order to accurately tune our ukulele. So let's start with this one right here. This is tuning peg number 1, and it corresponds to string number 1 right here. So if we want to raise the pitch, now look at how I did that right there. Pluck it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pluck and turn. That's about how fast it needs to be turned too. Don't turn it too quickly. Don't turn it too slowly. So what's happening here is it's being turned in a clockwise fashion. This is clockwise right here. I want you to try it on your ukulele. This is counterclockwise. Okay, you could turn it to the right, or you can turn it to the left. I like to say clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay? So listen to how the pitch increases when I turn it clockwise. That's in tune right there. Now if I turn it counterclockwise, the pitch is decreasing. Okay? Let's go over to tuning peg number 2 that corresponds to string number 2. Okay, so let's turn this clockwise. What's happening there? The pitch is increasing. Let's turn it counterclockwise. Well, you could think of it turning it to the right or turning it to the left. You got to practice this a little bit. You could even break it down even further and say your thumb is pointing outward. Your thumb is pointing outward here. Because, you know, the tuning peg changes. If the tuning peg is going, if the way I'm looking at it, it's going up and going down. So your thumb would be on this side in order to turn it clockwise. And then when you get to a certain point, you're going to have to switch around with your wrist. See how the thumb is changing direction? You put your thumb here, or you put your thumb here. So again, now on the top row here, when you pluck the third string, it corresponds to this tuning peg right here, which is tuning peg number 3. So again, we have tuning peg 1, 2, bottom row closest to you, bottom farther away from you. Top row farther away from you, top row closest to you. We're on tuning peg number 3. Now, listen to the pitch here. When we turn it to the left, which is we're looking at it here, this is counterclockwise. On the top row, counterclockwise is increasing the pitch. Turning it clockwise or to the right is decreasing the pitch. Try that out a couple of times. And again, you could have your thumb on the right, or once it gets to a certain point, you're going to have to switch your wrist around like that. Okay? So, now, let's go to tuning peg number 4, which corresponds to the 4th string. Again, let's go through those strings again. Tuning peg number 1 corresponds to string 1. Tuning peg number 2 corresponds to string 2. This string right here. Tuning peg number 3 corresponds to string number 3. This string right here. Tuning peg number 4 corresponds to string number 4. This particular ukulele has an onboard tuner. Okay, so, I actually can, but not all of them have it. You can see how that's lighting up right there. Okay, all you have to do is push that, but not all ukuleles have. Your ukulele probably does not have an onboard tuner because this ukulele happens to be acoustic electric. I could plug it into an amplifier. See that hole right there? I can plug a cord into that, and I can run it into an amplifier, and I do. Practice that out. Now, you have a good idea of what's going on here, but you have to practice it on your own because you're going to have to get used to turning these tuning pegs, especially if you're very young. Okay, so have fun with that. What you're looking at right now is called the Guitar Tuner Free app. Musician makes it. It's by far the best tuner that I've come across on the market, and I can't believe it's free. And I'm going to take you through the process of tuning your ukulele. Let's go through the basics. This is the first string that you see right here. The A string is the first string. Okay. The second string is the E string. That's this one right here. The third string is the C string, and that's this one right here. And then the fourth one is the G. That's right here. Now, what happens when it's in auto mode is it will automatically detect. It's picking up my voice right now. It will automatically detect your string and tell you if you're high or low. Now, or sharp or flat. Sharp means you're sharp. That's this little thing right here. See that little thing? That means that's a sharp sign. This is a flat sign. And you can see that it's set to ukulele, soprano, and C. That means you'll have 4. Now, if you see 6 strings on here, you're set to the guitar. You got to find the ukulele, soprano, and C. If you see 4 strings and it could be a bass guitar, you don't want a bass guitar. You want ukulele, soprano, and C. So poke around on the app if it's in the wrong mode and find ukulele, soprano, and C. Let's start with our A. I'm going to pluck the first string. Oh, did you see that? That was in. Now, sometimes it picks up this. Sometimes it gets a little weird. But you notice that it just made that sound, and it tells me that I'm in tune. Now, what I want to do is I want to go out of tune a little bit. So I'm going to pluck the high A. Look at that. +3, +4, +5, +6. Let me go back down. Now, bear in mind, when you first start tuning a ukulele, sometimes you could be way, way, way out of tune. You could be down here. Now, that'll read as an E string right there, so you're completely out of the ballpark right now. If that's the case, what I would do is I would touch this, and it'll play the note for you, and then you can listen to your string. Now, I'm going to pluck my string. It's so out of tune. You are in manual mode. Please make sure you're playing in the correct string. See? It's actually predicting that I'm playing completely, I'm so out of tune. So what I need to do is listen to this. Can you hear that that's a lower pitch? And do it again. Okay. Now what I need to do is find the correct tuning peg and turn it clockwise or to the right. Let's check the reference note. Let's check it again. See how I'm plucking it consecutively, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that? That'll just continuously give you a reference. Now what I do is pluck and turn, pluck and turn. See how it's... Well, I went too high. There, we got it. Okay, now let's do the next string, which is the E string. Oh, look what happened. I'm in manual mode, so what I gotta do is I gotta touch auto. Now it'll... I'm in tune. Let's pluck the third string. Little low. Looks like it's -2. It's so accurate, it'll tell you, -2 cents. Oh. Got it. Now, the thing about tuning a ukulele, your guitar is in tune. Okay, not my guitar, my ukulele. But the thing about tuning a ukulele, again, is that you could be so way out of tune, especially if you just buy the ukulele and it's just the strings are flopping around. It doesn't come out of the factory in tune. So play those reference notes and get those notes in your head. Try it out a couple of times.
Okay, so hopefully you've tuned your ukulele and you've watched that. Watch it a couple of times. It's an art to learn how to tune your ukulele. I can tune it by ear myself, but it'll take a while, and that's okay. So the next thing that we're going to go over is the fingers, frets, and strings. Now, so look at, well, we have two hands, right? So we don't use our feet to play the ukulele. We don't use our teeth or tongue to play the ukulele, or ears. We use our hands. So think about it. We have a left hand and we have a right hand. Those two hands are the hands that we utilize to play this instrument. So that breaks it down and makes it simple, doesn't it? So the left hand, we have 4 fingers. Finger number 1, finger number 2, finger number 3, and finger number 4. Let's go over that one more time. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4. Quick quiz. What finger is this? Say it to yourself. What finger is this? Say it to yourself. What finger is this? What finger is this? Finger 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Take that concept and put it aside, because now what we're going to do is we're going to learn about the frets. The frets on the ukulele are these little square areas right here. Okay, now obviously when I go, what's happening to that pitch? It's increasing, right? Okay, so now it's decreasing. The frets are those little areas that enable that pitch to increase or decrease. Now here's a little secret for you from a musician that's been playing for a long time. I can play an entire gig without going beyond the 4th fret. Fret 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't need fret 5. I don't need fret now. Eventually, if I want to go, okay, that's all fine and well. But I can play all 7 chords. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I can even do the E like this. I did not use the 5th fret at all in any of those chords. So I don't use only these frets. You can play those simple chords all within the first 4 frets. So again, let's go back. Fingers, quick quiz. What is this? Finger number what? What's this? Finger number what? What's this? Finger number... This finger number 3, finger number 2. Let's go quick. Finger number 1, finger number 4, finger number 2, finger number 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. What fret is this? What fret is my finger on right here? Did you say 2? What fret is my finger on right here? Did you say 3? What fret is my finger on right here? 1. And then you have open. Open means you're not playing any frets. These are the open strings. So this is an open first string, second, third, and fourth. Those are open, and then you have, what fret is this? 1. What fret is that? What fret is that? What fret is that? You don't need to go all the way over here, right? So what do we have so far? Fingers and frets, okay? The last thing are the strings. So here's what we're going to do. How many strings are on this ukulele? 1, 2, 3, 4. The string farthest down, this one, is string number 1, okay? Now, they have letter names as well, but we're not going to get into that right now. We're just going to call, for simplicity's sake, we're just going to say string number 1. Then we're going to say string number 2, string number 3, string number 4, okay? So what do we have? Fingers, frets, and strings, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take combinations of those, and we're going to form our first chord. And I'm going to show you how incredibly simple this is. What I want you to do, listen carefully. Finger number 3, fret number 3, string number 1. Take your time, right? Finger number 3. Look at your finger. Then fret number 3. Then string number 1. Take your time. Take your time. Now your finger's going to be a little awkward pushing that down in the beginning. It's going to look like this. Once again, stop the video if you have to. Take your time. Now what I want you to do is take your pick and just strum all 4 strings down. That's it. You've just played your first chord. It's a C chord. If you have to go back and try this a couple of times and watch that video a few times so you get something that sounds like this, you do that. Try it until you get it. It's a beauty of technology. You could stop this video. So that is your first chord, your C chord, okay? Now what we're going to do, once you get that, we're going to go over to 1 chord harder, which is your F chord, which is going to involve 2 fingers. So here's what I want you to do. Let's move slow, and let's do it carefully. So listen again. Finger number 1. Finger number 1, remember? Fret number 1. String number 2. Okay, let me say that again. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Press that down. It should sound like this. Okay, does it sound like that? Now, is your finger touching, is the top, can you see those indentations? Can you see that indentation on my finger right there? Okay, see where, look at that. See that? You can see it. It's like a little groove that I've put in my finger. You put a groove in your finger right there. Is your finger touching any of the other strings? Because if it is, I'm going to pluck the first string. Look what I did to it. I muted it. You can't hear it. So you have to be landing. How does a helicopter land? It lands straight down, right? How does a plane land? A plane lands like this, okay? Don't land your finger on the fretboard like a plane, like this. Land your finger like a helicopter, like this. So this way, you won't be touching any other strings. Okay, it'll sound like this. Okay, so you got that? Now again, once again, listen carefully. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Let's move over to our next note. Now hold that note down. Don't move it. Now if you have to start again, shake it out. You might have to feel a little pain. Do that. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Now, finger 2, fret 2, string 4. Press that down. Take your time. Does it sound like this? So here's what you want to do. You want to strum down again and hear that. Okay? What was that first chord that I said? Oh, by the way, this is the F chord. This is the F chord right here. F as in Frank. And then the first one was a C. What was that first chord I said again? Finger 3, fret 3, string 1. Finger 3, fret 3, string 1, and it sounds like this. The F chord was finger 1, fret 1, string 2, and finger 2, fret 2, string 4. About a thing, because every little thing gonna be alright. We're gonna stop there with the first two chords. So now you see how you create your first chords with a combination of what? Fingers, frets, and strings. Strumming patterns. Strumming patterns couldn't be easier. How simple is this? Down, up, down, up, down, up. So let's put all of this together. We're now going to play the chorus of Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Couldn't be easier. What were those chords? C and F. What was the strumming pattern? Down, up, down, up, down, up. Don't worry. There's a C chord. About a thing. Down, up. Switch to F. Because every little thing is going to be all back to C. Right? That's it. That's it. That's what I was doing. Now, literally on the stage of the back fence, I was doing a more elaborate strumming pattern. I was going, don't worry about a thing. And everybody was singing along. And you've been playing the ukulele for how long? And you're already almost there. You're doing something, you're doing a simpler version. So now you're still going to tell me that you can't do it? Nah, don't say that. Okay, so let's count the beats. Don't worry about a thing. My foot is tapping. Hear my foot tapping like that? Don't worry, 2. About a thing, 2. Those were 8 beats. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. We had 8 beats. 8 beats, like this. Don't 1, 2, 3, about a thing, 5, 6, 7, 8, 'cause every little thing. 4 beats on the F and 4 beats on the C. 8 beats on the C. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. This is the chorus of Three Little Birds. Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is gonna be alright. Now it's gonna take time for you to switch those chords. But are you in any hurry? Do you have a gig lined up? No. Take your time. While you're watching Netflix, just hold a ukulele and say, what was that guy talking about with that F chord? Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. While you watch it, while you're sitting on your couch, have a ukulele. Here's a trick. Now, we're doing a lot of things. I do a million things at the same time. So I've noticed that if my ukulele is on the other side of the room, I won't get up and get it. I have to have my ukulele right next to me. Right here's my stand, right here. Right? So I have to have it right here next to me. Otherwise, you know, we all can procrastinate, can't we? So we want to make everything easy for ourselves. So while you're watching Netflix or while you're on the computer, just take a break. Just fret that 1 F chord like that. Finger 1, fret 1, string 2. Finger 2, fret 2, string 4. There's your F chord. There's your C chord. Practice changing it. Practice changing it. C, F, C, F. Couldn't be easier. Go slow. Don't go... Now, what you have to cross, what I call is the barrier of familiarity. Now, watch this. See this right here? I've been playing for about 37 or 38 years this way. You know how long I've been playing this like this? 30 seconds. So ask me to fret an F chord like this, and I'll have to go, oh, you might want to slow down there, dude. All right, so, yeah, okay, all right, I got this F chord you're telling me about. Okay, it's hard, so I get it. I get it. But do you want to play the ukulele? Like this, it's easy. I hope you like this video. On the Guitar Den, I give lessons in groups. There's an incredible sense of camaraderie with the lessons. We all have a great time. We set goals. I use the Guitar Den as a backdrop to teach via Zoom. And we also have live events because we don't want to spend all our time on the computer. Eventually what we're going to do is we're going to learn songs and we're going to get out to coffee shops. And you young people are going to learn the most important lesson of your life, which is social interaction. Don't get stuck behind the computer all day. You got to get out and you got to develop the bravery to stand on a stage, or the bravery to talk to people, the bravery to take chances, and that, I believe, is the key to everything in life.